Okay, as promised on Facebook, I'm going to make a sous vide hamburger. The trick I found is to use these rings right here. They are called English muffin rings. You can buy them on Amazon. They're like $7.50 for a package of 4. I will put the link down below so you can find them. The other thing that I don't like to do with the hamburger is I don't want to handle the hamburger hardly at all. As little as possible. Try to keep it in its grainy structure here. So basically what you're going to do, you got your pepper and your salt, put a little bit of salt. Now this is a flake salt here. A little bit of pepper in there, okay? Okay, so now we're going to break this up a little bit. You want it to be in small clumps. You don't want to press it together at all. Just try to keep it so it's a little bit loose. Take your ring, start putting your meat down inside there. And you don't really want to pack it down too much. And you want it to be up above. Because when it goes under vacuum, in the vacuum sealer, it will squish it down a little bit. Okay. Okay, pause right here, and I'm going to grab my vacuum sealer, and I will be right back. Now we're going to set up our little baggie for putting our hamburger in there. Of course, you want to seal off one side of the bag. Put that down, clamp it, seal. I always do 2 seals on each end, just in case one of them gives out. That way you're protected so you don't get any water in there to turn your sous vide burger into a boiled burger. So let's do the second seal here. Okay, that's done. Now we just have to cut our bag to the proper size. And you got your hamburger about that much, so you want to give yourself an extra couple inches there for sealing and the such. I'll just cut that off. So now that we got it ready, we just want to add a little more salt and pepper to the outside. Take this thing here. Let's give it a little flip. Alrighty. Now a little trick with your bags is you want to roll the edge over, the open end over like that. That way you don't get anything on the sealing part and it makes it easier to seal. Take our burger off of here with the ring. Put the ring in there. The reason you do that is the ring, when it vacuum seals, will keep it from smashing the hamburger and making it look like a flying saucer, where it's thin on the edges and thick in the middle. Come out looking really, really strange. So put that in there. Close our lid. Seal it. Hit the vacuum button. There we go. There we go. You see how it kind of flattens it out and fills it in just a little bit there? Now it's sealing, and of course, like I said, I always do 2 seals on the ends to make sure they don't end up leaking. So let's do one more seal here. Okay. Okay, our sealing is all done now. Now we're going to get ready and we're going to put it in the sous vide. I'll be back in just a second. Okay, now as you can see right here, our temperature is at 131. It's going to be plus or minus 0.5 degrees. Pretty close. That should give us a good medium rare. So should be a little bit pink without being too much bloody or anything. Set this down in the water there. That just helps put some space between the burger and the bottom so the water keeps circulating. Set our burger down inside there. Now, if it wants to float, you can use something to help weight it down. You know, a pair of tongs or, you know, a meat tenderizer mallet, something that's got a little bit of weight can hold it down. Other than that, we're going to pause right here. I'm going to let it sous vide for an hour. Then we'll come back and we'll sear it off in the cast iron skillet. Okay, a little tip here. You can actually package up and vacuum seal more than just what you're going to eat. Since I'm the only one home, I didn't want to cook 4 burgers, and I had 1 1/3 pounds of meat, so I took and I vacuum sealed the other ones with the rings in there just like that. They're already seasoned and everything, so all you got to do is throw them in the freezer. When you're ready to sous vide, you add about 50% more time. So if you're going to cook for an hour, you want to do it about 1.5 hours from frozen. That can be done with most meats. You can do steaks. You can have them prepped and everything ready to go. Like what I like to do with ribs. Have the ribs seasoned, vacuum packed. Throw them in the freezer or just in the fridge. That way when you get up in the morning, all you have to do is turn on the sous vide, make sure it's got enough water in it, put the ribs in there, and let it cook the whole day you're at work, and you come home with some 12-hour cooked ribs, and they are absolutely falling off the bone. So, one of these days I'm going to do another video, and I will do ribs, and maybe I'll do a little experiment and do some 12-hour ribs and some 24-hour ribs, just so you can see the difference. The temperature that you cook it at determines if it's still going to have some bite to it and stay to the bone but come off, or if it's going to just pick up the bone and it falls off. So 165 I found is really good for making nice, tender, juicy, but they don't just slip right off the bone. 170 to 175, then they start slipping off the bone, but they're still, of course, good, juicy, and tender. So anyways, as you can see, the color's changing a little bit on our hamburger here. It's been cooking for about 15 while I made these up. And we'll be back in another 45 minutes or so, and then we'll sear off this burger and have some lunch. Okay, it's been roughly an hour since we put our hamburger into the sous vide. So it is pretty much done cooking now. Grab it out of there with our tongs, put it on a towel, shut the sous vide off. Okay, let's open this up and see what we got. Alrighty, as you can see, it's nice and moist and juicy. One of the things to remember is whenever you're going to sear off your meat after you have sous vide it, you want to try to pat it dry, because any moisture on top is basically just going to cause steam, and then you're going to basically steam or boil instead of getting that nice Maillard reaction on the outside of the meat, that nice brown crust. Let's see if we can get this guy out of here now. There we go. See, now we got a nice little firm patty here. We'll get our skillet here fired up, nice and hot. We'll cook it up. It don't look too good now, but just give me a minute and we'll see what we got. Okay, we got our pan heated up. As you can see, there's just a little bit of smoke coming off of it. So what we have to do now is put our oil in it. I have a tendency to use coconut oil. I like it. It has a very, very high flash point. So you don't have to worry about it scalding and burning and adding a bitter taste. If you use olive oil has a lower burn temperature. So if you heat it up too high, it can actually add a bitterness to your food. So oil's starting to smoke right now, so let's take and put this guy in here. Hear that nice little sizzle? That's what you want, is you want that sizzle. You want it to sear real hard, both sides. There we go, black pan threw off my lighting just a little bit. Give it just a minute here. Should be about 30 seconds, maybe 45, maybe a minute. Okay. Get that nice brown Maillard reaction going right there. Get it to sizzle, get it to burn, make it smoke. Since we got these nice flat edges, brown is flavor, just remember that. A nice little piece of cheddar here. Nice little flip there. Put that down on there. One of the things you can do that helps a little bit, if you take another pan and just a tad bit of water, put that down in there and set that over the top. That'll help steam the cheese, get it nice and soft and start to droop. Make everything yummy. Okay, there we go. Take this off. Put it over here. I know different people like different toppings on their burgers. Basically, I'm pretty simple. Little ketchup, little mayonnaise, some mustard. Last night, I had made this sauce. It's basically mayonnaise and sour cream and some dill, some other herbs and stuff in it. So I'm going to use that on here. That sounds awfully tasty to me. So we'll put that down there. And all the buns are huge. Unfortunately, those are the only buns that I have right now. A little ketchup on there. Let's take our burger here, lift it right up. Set it right there on top. So there we go. That's the Sous Vide Burger. And there you go. There's our Sous Vide Burger. Let's give it a little cut in and see what the inside of this thing looks like. There you go. How's that? Looks like it's a pretty nice, sharp, medium rare, juicy, all set, ready to go. Give a little taste of it here. Dang, that's a good juicy burger.